Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation to come to this distinguished audience and speak to you about experiences on youth empowerment from my country. And I'm very happy to share these experiences with you. And let me say that this is something that is of high importance, not only in a country like Denmark, but for all countries of the world, and also in this part of the world. Youth are faced also with the great challenges of Industrial Revolution 4.0, automation, new technology. We need to adapt our society also for the future of our youth. So what I want to do today is give you a short presentation of how our system in Denmark is put together. And the main takeaway here when we talk about youth empowerment in Denmark, that is focus on education, 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 but also on jobs and having a flexible labor market. I think this is something that is very important when you try to empower your youth. So I will introduce to you the background for what we do in Denmark. Denmark is a welfare state. And we offer a lot to our citizens. We have a free education, we have free health care, we have high level unemployment benefit, we have child support, we have elderly care programs, all free for the citizens. But it also, of course, comes with obligation. And one of the obligations is that you pay tax. And most of you will know that Denmark is one of the highest taxed countries in the world. On average, 50% of our GDP will be tax. But it happens also that the Danish people are pretty happy about paying tax. They're happy about paying tax because they know they also get rights and they also get benefits. I said education is one of the key issues when it comes to youth empowerment. And this is something that we strive for very, very deeply. We have an education for all program in Denmark. That means it is open to everyone. It's free of charge. It is equal basis for everybody. We have a principle of lifelong learning. You don't stop being educated when you graduate from university. Whether you're 50, 60 years old, you still have a need to get new qualification and upbeat your competences. So it's very important that this is seen as a lifelong process. Also, our education system is very much based on active participation, not a one-way dialogue. And we have practical ways of dealing in our educational system, and it has very high standards. We have a variety of educational programs that we offer. It's not just being academic, but you can also choose different ways. And if you look at the educational demography, you will see that people with high-level education or tertiary education are somewhat lower than you have in this region. But that's because we offer a different variety of programs also for the youth, and that's important. But what we focus on at the moment in Denmark is to make sure that we have people and we have the youth staying and studying longer and studying harder. Here we can learn a lot from the North Asian countries. But we also want to make sure that our wide variety of programs are more streamlined, that we have better secondary education, that we have more streamlined vocational education for our youth. And we also want to address the matching issue that was raised before. This is also an issue in Denmark, making sure that we design our educational programs so they also match with the job opportunities in the labor market. And that we also increase the quality and also look into the digitalization age. Education being one part of it, but it doesn't stop there. We need to make sure that there are also jobs available for our young people. And here we have a problem, of course, in Denmark, having a unemployment rate that is relatively higher than what you have here, though lower than the EU average. We have a youth unemployment around 12–13%, also higher than you would experience in this part of the world. But we have also been through a very difficult crisis. The economic crisis and the financial crisis did also hit Denmark very hard, and that also affected the youth employment market. What is very special about our labor market, and I want to touch upon that because this is important, that is that we have a very flexible approach in our labor market. It is very easy for employers to hire, but also to fire. So it's easy to get people in, but also get people out when you have bad times. It is flexible when it comes to assignment of tasks, flexible working hours, and also flexible pay. So firing and hiring is the core part of our flexible labor market. It comes with a price, of course. And the price is that if you get fired, you are not left by yourself. There is a system taking care of you. That is why we call it a security system. So we have a flexible labor market balanced with a security whereby you, as an unemployed, should you lose your job, you actually get a very decent and high unemployment benefit. So that's important to understand. At the same time, our government goes in and produces and supplies particular programs to get people back into training so they can get more qualification and get into a new job. So it's a system whereby you have a high level of mobility on the labor market, high security in the sense that you are treated if you lose your job, but also a system that tries to move you on to the next job. And that's the core part of our system. What we work for in the future, and this is something that I think goes in all our countries here, that we need to prepare our youth, we need to prepare our labor market for the future, and not least the Industry 4.0. That is, make sure we have the right digital approach, that we focus on everything that has to do with automation, that we assist our small and medium-sized companies in utilizing these new instruments and the new era of digitalization, that we approach e-commerce in a completely different way, and that we use this to promote our people and our users' competences. So very important, and something that our government and our politicians are focusing on. Because we believe that by continuing giving our youth new qualifications, we can still be an attractive labor market. We cannot compete with low-cost countries. We cannot compete on wages. We need to compete on our qualification and our skills, and that is why we put so much emphasis into educating our youth, and to make sure that there is a match between what we educate them for and what the kind of job they can also get in the future. So let me end here by saying that education is the prime factor of our youth empowerment, but also that we make sure that we have a flexible labor market so that we can create and make our youth get the jobs that they need, but also should they want to move to a different job, that they also have these kind of possibility. Thank you very much.